How do you protect a 1-0 lead?
By drawing or winning. No, I mean, it's 90 minutes, 90 minutes at home against a good team that can score goals. So we're going to have to be prepared, defensively, obviously very clued in like we were in New York. And if we can score a goal, I think that would obviously be very helpful.
And is it easier to play that kind of tenacious defense on a field as small as NYC FC's or y'all's?
It kind of is what it is, I think we know our pitch obviously pretty well at home with our fans, I think that will play a role, and it just comes down to kind of executing and then being aware of certain situations, what they try and do, and what obviously we want to try and do on defense, and so it's really just, it doesn't really matter.
Julian, you and I talked, I think it was in September, about how when you're in the middle of the game, like the speed of the game is just really increased, and you're still kind of like adapting to that. You were in the middle on a small pitch. How would you evaluate your performance? And if you're in the middle again at Mercedes-Benz, like what do you take away from that learning, and how do you adjust? It
was a tough game, in the middle. It was like you said, it's a small field, so it's never really a game for the midfielders on Yankee Stadium. So I was put in there to kind of do a job, and kind of gives us a little more balance defensively, I think. Franco played on the right, and I played in the middle, and Miguel kind of pushed up a bit. That's what Tata had in mind, and ultimately we come out with a 1-0 win, and that's really all that matters. It was, like I said, it was fast in there, and when you got touches on the ball there, you didn't have much time, and you couldn't really create much from the middle. But that's just what the game gave us, and then we kind of knew that going into, and we kind of just did a good job of finding the space that wasn't behind their line. We played some longer balls, and so that was, I kind of knew that was going into the game. So it was just a performance, that I'd try and, like I said, do a job.
And this Sunday, I mean, you might find yourself in the same formation, but with a lot more space, playing on your home field. What do you do there? Like, how do you adjust to that? You won't have three guys on you every time you touch the ball, but you might find yourself even out wide with more space. That suit you better, obviously?
Like I said, it's a little bit different on our home field. You're a little more comfortable with everything and what's going on and with movements and all that, but I mean, we haven't really talked about how we're going to play yet. So whatever role it will be, I'll be ready to go no matter where it is, but I'll just have to see kind of where I play, and then I'll try and insert myself in the game. If it's in the middle again, then obviously I'll try and be productive and, like I said, do a job again, because ultimately all that matters is that we advance.
And last one for me. I've been reading some of the quotes from the New York players, and they all seem really confident coming to this stadium. They know they play well here. Some teams come here and bunker and kind of shudder under the pressure. These guys think that it won't be a big deal, but they're pretty confident. Mentally, knowing that this team is coming to win and that they're confident they've done it here before, how sharp do you guys need to be?
We need to be, we need to play our best game, and this is the teams that deserve to be here. New York's one of the top teams in the league, so we need to perform for 90 minutes. We can't really lack anything just because we have 1-0 lead. It'll be gone really quick if we do that. So like I said, they'll go after it, and then they'll bring their best game. I'm pretty sure, So we got to be on our best performance as well.
Tata last week talked about how important it is in the playoffs to not make those mistakes, especially the mistakes that can lead to goals. And it seemed like in the game there was an effort to put the ball out of bounds if there's trouble. Brad was playing a lot of balls long, maybe more than he would in the regular season. Was that a clear message from Tata going into the game to kind of be a little safer in those situations?
Yeah, definitely. I think we had a training session during the week where we've kind of tried to build out the back, and we've kind of made a few mistakes here and there, and he pulled us together real quick, and said, listen guys, let's try and eliminate smaller the margin of error, and then be safer at certain times. So it was a clear message throughout the week. Yes, it's the playoffs, that's really what matters.
Does that put more, not pressure, but just more responsibility on guys like Joseph, Tito, Miguel to kind of create, because they're going maybe a little more, the offensive production is a little more reliant on them to make plays, while there's more of a defensive mindset of the team?
I don't know. I think just in general, defensively, we all try to be a little more aware of the fact defensively. It doesn't really add too much pressure, I think, up front, because they want to create and they want to do stuff still. No matter if we I mean, you never really want to make mistakes in the back, you know. So in a regular season game or in a playoff game, so we just kind of put a little point of emphasis on it and tried and be cleaner, and then, like I said, not have like any like easy giveaways, and then like we wanted to make sure we were in the 50-50 battles. We go in there like full speed and all that. So it doesn't really change anything we do offensively.
And one more from me. So when Philadelphia played in New York City, it was pretty funny. Like they changed the dimensions of their practice field and they lost 3-1. So no one really talked about that afterwards. And then coming into this game, Tata said that we're not changing the dimensions on the practice field. People maybe were questioning that, and then you guys went out and won, and nobody's talking about. I'm sure that would have been a talking point had the result not gone your way. So are we making too big a deal about the size of the pitch, and is it more just down to the performance?
It is, but it's also, like I said, it's a thing where the game's very different at Yankee Stadium. It's not as clean, it's not as not as pretty. Sometimes you have to go there like we did in the second half and just kind of scrap, and fight, and that's really more at Yankee Stadium than really any other pitch, I think. So. It's just a different kind of game. So, like I said, they play on there a lot more than we do or other teams do. So they're just more accustomed to that, and that's kind of what it makes them so good at home, I think.
Did y'all spend any more time on set pieces, on your set pieces last week? Because y'all had a lot of success.
Not more than usual, no.
You're a little surprised at how well a lot of them worked, considering, in the past the team.
Yeah, it was just a combination of, I think, obviously having the right ideas and then an execution as well. Yeah, and then like I said, if a ball gets crossed in the box and you have Leandro winning that first header or from side free kick where Franco then misses it on the second post, like you have situations where execution was just a big thing in that game. I think that kind of ultimately led to us getting more chances and ultimately scoring a goal as well.
What are you going to miss most about being Rookie of the Year? Now that the next one was crowned yesterday.
Not really gonna miss much.
I know you love the media obligations.
Yeah. The trophy is still sitting at home, so no. Congrats to Corey Berg.
Do you have? I might be butchering this name, but do you read their Spiegel? Do you have an opinion on what a potential European Super League would look like, considering you're a Bayern Munich supporter?
I haven't read the whole thing yet. I actually told my mom to bring me a copy. She's coming in on Thursday, so I wanted to just actually see it in print as well and kind of get a little more in depth. But yeah, it's something that's very obviously very sharply discussed right now in Europe, and I don't really have an opinion yet.
Not yet. All right, I'll check back then.
Okay.
We're at that time of year where penalty kick scenarios can come up with the tie. Do you work on that type of stuff at this time, or do you just go naturally? Is there a conversation among you and the coaching staff about that potential situation?
Yeah, we've started to work on it in the last couple of weeks, here and there. Just stay after practice a bit, and everybody takes one, or you have a little shootout with if we play small-sided or something, with the team. So it's definitely something that we're working on.
Is that a different approach than last year, with preparing for the Columbus game? Is there a change in approach from last year?
Yeah, I mean, last year we didn't do too much of it. I think this year is a bit more focused on that as well, just because last year didn't go our way, so we want to try and be a little more prepared than we were last year.
Last one.
Yeah. Is there a difference between how you guys have focused on recovery compared to last year to this year at this point of the season? Obviously, you guys didn't advance, but you guys were in the weight room. I don't know if you guys are kind of taking it a little easier today, but is there an added a refocus on just getting better recovery fitness-wise than compared to last year?
I don't really remember how it was last year, but the last couple of weeks now, the last 3 weeks, I want to say, we haven't really done much fitness anymore. Where we were, kind of got the message. We're at the point in the season where and that's how I feel as well. That you're fit to go 90 minutes plus, and so you really have to stay fresh and stay sharp. I actually just got off the massage table, so you try and obviously recover as fast as you can. And